What's up, and welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Aslam, aka Raw God of the Sun. That's right, I'm back, motherfuckers.
Return.
Accompanied by Dan, Papa Sun Killer, and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
It's good. It's good. It's good to have you back. How did Ramadan treat you, kid? We missed you.
Good, good, man. I miss being on here. But yeah, Ramadan was good. I made it off the Mountain Islands alive, and
The Mountain Islands. Nice.
the Mountain Islands alive, the Mountain Islands of Ramadan,
Yep.
and I'm here. I'm here, and I'm ready to go.
We were saying that now that you're married, it takes twice as long to get up. Is that true?
Get up.
To
The
get to the
mountain.
mountain.
The
Oh,
mountain
to get to the
Ramadan.
mountain, I was like, "There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that get up could
I know.
mean."
That's why I was like, as soon as you said get up, I was like, the mountain. We're talking
I
about
was
the
like,
mountain. That's what we're
"Get up
talking
out
about.
of bed, get it up," or like, "What are we talking out here?" Up to the mountain. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know.
That's the answer I was expecting.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh man.
Married life.
Yeah, because it's the old ball and chain, so you gotta bring it up with you.
Just hanging
Um,
off your ankle as you're
yeah.
climbing. Just
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Look at that. We're
Um,
learning today.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
gonna learn today. Um, so today we are reviewing the Mandalorian season 3 uh, finale and like the rest of the season. We did season 3, episode 1 a little while ago. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out immensely. Go share and comment below. Let us know what you think about this season. Go check out our social medias and the Los Wise Guys website, loswiseguys.com. Without further ado, let's jump into the Mandalorian season 3 review. Initially, this season started out like every other season. It looked like it was going to be an intergalactic shopping list to get. Like the robot in episode 1 was like, "Hey, we need to go get parts for this robot. Let's go." And it shifted right away in episode 2 a little bit from that. Like they're like, "Okay, we don't really need this robot anymore." So I was like, "What was the point of episode 1?" Um, but it shifted, and then like throughout the season, I was like, "What's the point of Din Djarin? This show's not even about him anymore. It's literally about everyone else other than Din Djarin,
and
right?"
it's funny because I'm going to get into it, but yes, it made me realize between that and you saying it's just him going on side missions,
Yeah,
it clicked in my head. I was like, I know what this is now.
yeah.
But yeah.
So this show's not about really Din Djarin, and then like during like the book of Boba Fett, that was about Boba Fett for like 3 episodes, and then it was about Din Djarin and Grogu. It's like,
Mhm.
what's the point of like having these people if you're not gonna make the shows about them?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know what Dave Filoni like. I don't know what he's trying to do with these shows or whatnot, but like I feel like The Mandalorian has become a stepping stone for every other show that they're trying to do to tie him in. Like a lot of the season was setting up Ahsoka and the events that's going to happen in that, and I'll get into that later when we get a little bit into the nitty gritty. But I mean, it was nice to see like all these Mandalorians. It was nice to see Mandalore, what happened to it, all the lore. Um, it was interesting in that point, but the show fell off hard, even harder than before, for me at least. So, I mean, there were some good moments, there were some interesting moments, and I, yeah, that's about it for me. Like, what you
You,
guys think?
you, I'll go. Uh, you pretty much summed it up pretty good. There was a lot of the season where I was just like, you wasted so much time. You had half-hour episodes here and there where like you could have done full episodes and like really build that lore. I don't know. I just felt like it definitely got a
I
little
don't think
better
the
at
show
the
needed
end.
more time.
I think it definitely got better at the end, but at the still overall, I was like not impressed. I wanted more. They did do some Mandalorian stuff, but I don't know. I just felt like it didn't look cool to me. It did. When I pictured the Mandalorians in my head, I guess I expected more. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, and I'm like, it just that was not what I envisioned in my head. Like, not that
Yeah.
I'm like the biggest Star Wars fan, but you say Mandalorian to me before Mandalorian came out, and I picture like badasses and all that. Not that they're not badass in the show, but it's just not what I don't know. It's just not as gritty, not as badass or just like vibe
The
Yeah.
or grit.
I
It's more just I don't know, just dudes in suits with robot suits, just like
yeah.
helmets. Very psychological, like mental health issues. There, it's like, I can't take this helmet off. People going crazy, and then them shaming other people's like, you took your helmet off. You're you're a loser now. Like, I don't know. It seemed kind of silly. Like when they were doing it. It just in my head originally before the Mandalorian it just looked so much cooler in my head, but just seeing them actually squabble about it, I don't know, it just seemed kind of silly. And overall, I don't know what they're doing with the Mandalorian. There was Grogu in it. There was Bo-Katan. There was just like like you said, everybody but Din Djarin was cool and important. He could have honestly not been in the show, and it would have still just been the same, just a flop, a miss. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I
Um, it's just first of all,
they
shout
need
out.
they need new writers, man.
Yeah,
They could have done so much with that Mandalorian lore, and they could have made it a little more grittier. But then it is Disney, so maybe that's why
yeah.
it's so soft. And but I don't know. I just Disney's kind of just ruining it, Star Wars for me, and they need to step their game up because
Amen.
Mandalorian Mandalorians are like top tier badasses, and now I'm just like, man, Mandalorians, like, I don't know.
Um, before you go, Dan, sorry. Shout out to Fernando, and
Yep.
he said Mandalorians need Beskar straws for their soup.
Yeah.
And
That popped.
but yeah, I agree, Disco. Mandalorians, and we only knew of one, which was Boba Fett, right? And uh, and there was just so little information about him, which was what made him cool. And you could
Exactly.
have literally wrote anything about the Mandalorians to make them even more badass and build
Yep.
their lore slowly. And I feel like I don't know personally. I feel like the Legends might have done that in books
Mm.
before Disney took over and um, like canned all of that. But if whether they did or not, this is not what I was expecting. This is kind of my comment on when we reviewed Boba Fett. I was like, Boba Fett was such a cool character, and then like they made him like this. I don't know what the fuck they made him.
Mhm.
So, but this
Grandpa,
is
Grandpa Fett.
yeah, this is Star Wars Disneyfied, and it's not fun. So, um, then
Yeah. So for me it's I mean I have the same sentiments as you guys. It started off, like every other episode. And it's just
mhm,
like, oh, we have to go here to get this thing to do this thing. I'm like, all right, cool. You're right. Second episode they deviated from that. It was a welcome change. I felt like it was improving. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. That finale, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't even remember it. I was so not interested in the
yeah,
finale, like not even for a second. It's like I
yeah,
truly do not care about what's happening here. But with that being said, I go back to season one of Mandalorian, where I remember a lot of people saying, "Why couldn't this have been Boba Fett?" And I realize it now, where it's just like that's why. What's his name? I
Din
legit
Djarin.
only call him Mando.
Yeah, yeah, you can call him Mando. This
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Din
So
Djarin.
yeah, fuck. You know what? Fuck him, Mando. He doesn't deserve a
yeah,
name. He doesn't have a face. He doesn't have a name. So Mando is out here, and it's just that's what it is. I think it was supposed to be Boba Fett, and they were just like, "Hey, let's just make this Mandalorian show. If it works, we'll make a Boba Fett show eventually," which they did, and you see where we are now. And I
yeah,
really feel like that's what it was. It's like we're just gonna do random Mandalorian, have him do all these other people's adventures, and that's when Eslam, you always said it's side missions, and I was like, it is, but now I realized not only is it side missions, it's like to pinpoint a specific game. This is Skyrim. This is Skyrim in the sense of you're the Dragonborn and you're deciding is like, well, I want to be part of this group, called which is I think it was the what was it, Disco? You played Skyrim, right? The assassins, what were their names? The Black Hand or something like that? Wasn't Black Hand.
I don't know. The Knights. I don't
I
know.
forgot
I
what it
don't know.
was, but it's just like you join them and you deal with their stuff, and then you're like, hey, you were there, you're a part of it, but it was really their story, but you were there, and then it's just like, all right, you do that, and then there's the civil war that's happening in Skyrim. Okay, let me deal with the civil war, but I mean, I'm not really gonna pick a side. I'm gonna play both sides. And in the end, I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring everybody together. We're all gonna be friends. It's cool. Then you do the other mission where you're part of the Mages Guild, and it's just like none of these things are about you.
Yeah,
Not one of them is about you, but you're the one who's making things move forward.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, that literally is
That
this
is
show.
Mandal. Yeah, yeah. See, I would have been okay if the show wasn't called The Mandalorian.
Mhm.
If the show was called The Mandalorians or Mandalore or whatever, just not one person, but the thing as a whole. And then it makes sense for this. We get this person who starts it out, and then it slowly transitions into Boba Fett, and then he becomes kind of like then Mando Din Djarin kind of becomes like this background character
You want to
They
know
alongside
the
should
with
great
this.
they
title for all
should
this?
call it they should have called it the Foundling and then just follow Grogu the whole way as he finds new masters to kind of guide him through his 800-year life.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
then it's
mean,
not about Grogu though.
yeah. So and then
But I'm saying if you name it Foundling, it would be about.
Well, they didn't do that with the Mandalorian.
yeah.
Who's to say they're
Like
gonna
I'm
But
do it with the
saying,
Foundling?
but
wait,
here's
that
the
is a show. I don't know.
No, it's not.
okay.
I don't know.
So the thing with they could have done like name it the Mandalorians, right? So it can encompasses all of them, and then now you start off with Din Djarin, and then you can shift to Bo-Katan, you can shift to Boba Fett, you can shift to Sabine Wren, which we will see in Ahsoka. You can shift to all these different Mandalorians, and then it's kind of like Game of Thrones, or like, you know what I mean, or the House of the Dragon, the House of the Mandalorians, or the Planet of whatever it is. It's about them as a whole, and then you have like these different characters coming in and out of the story, and then there's an overall arcing story, which is we need to get our planet back. Which, if that was it from the beginning, then we have a goal to get to. We're going to take some deviations. Hopefully, they're for the better. But this is our goal that we're striving to, is to get our planet back. Get it either it's poisonous and we need to clean it up, or it's not poisonous and we can get to it, and then, we can rebuild, or we can do whatever, and then we got to fight these um, like the New Republic, or the leftovers from the Empire, so we can get our planet back, because everybody's scared of our unity, right? They don't want us united. They don't want us have a home base. They're scared of our greatness, and we have to fight for that, right? But that's not. They're slowly tried to do that at the end of the season but it's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of setting up for other shows and these different storylines, and we're gonna get to it later. But there's Star Wars Celebration announced like the culmination of all these storylines, and we'll see how that happens. But Dan, you look like you wanted to say something.
Me?
Yeah.
So, one thing it just I'm looking it up right now. I don't want to mess it up. Real quick, another video game made me think of, especially with this season, Mass Effect.
Hmm.
Tali Zora couldn't go back to her planet
Yeah.
because it was infected or whatever with
Yeah.
the Geth or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like that was another thing where it's just like, oh, all these group of people who don't take off their helmets can't go back to their home planet. Where have I seen this before?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I find the more I watch the show and I look at it, I was just like, you're nothing is original, huh? Like you're literally just pulling everything from stuff I've seen before. But
I
at this
mean,
point, in terms of
yeah.
like what I would call it, because there is no one set story. Every season has
Yeah.
had a different story or whatever. Call it Tales from the Outer Rim and just have it be that.
Ooh. Yeah,
That's what
that
I'm thinking.
works too.
Call because that's all it is. They're just staying in the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
They're going to Mandalore. They're going to the Skywalker sand planet, whatever the fuck it's called. I can't
Oh,
remember. Right?
Tatooine.
Tatooine. Yeah, they're going there. They're just going to like different places in the Outer Rim. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like this season they're trying to build to the creation of the First Order,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like at that, and we know the First Order. Well, I don't know if they said it or if I read it on Wiki or something shit, but it's like the First Order like was formed in the Outer Rim. That's another thing. So it's like if that's their end goal, if that's where they're trying to make it the show end, be like, oh, this is where the First Order came to rise, and then this is where we go to the sequel trilogy. Like just fucking just do that. Just make it about the Outer Rim. Don't
Yeah.
call it like you said, the Mandalorian or whatever.
because it's very the
Disney needs to
title's
hire
very
us.
the title's very centric around this one character, but then the show deviates a lot from this one character. So what's the point of the show
it's
being called
it's
this
it's
if it's
holding the show back now, being
yeah.
No.
tied down to Din Djarin because he's really nothing. Like he's I don't know. It's
They
other
try
than
so
having
hard
Grogu.
they try so hard to make him not the main character even though he is the main character. He becomes the side character in his own story, and then when it's not his own story, he becomes the main character. What the fuck are you doing? Like during Boba Fett, he all of a sudden became the main character.
Like the last 2 or 3 episodes didn't even have Boba Fett. It was about Mandalorian. It's like, yeah, I gotta go get you over to Luke Skywalker. It's like this show's about Boba Fett. What happened?
And then now that it's his show, all of a sudden it's Bo-Katan. Like, what's going on here, guys? But let's get into more of the review. So, I mean, we've already said some spoilers, but we're gonna jump into spoiler heavy review, and yeah. So we have the Mandalorian season 3, right? Um, we get to see all these different types of Mandalorians. You got the Bo-Katan like sect of Mandalorians, and then you have like the Night Watch, which is like the other sect of Mandalorian, or their descendants at least. You also have Bo-Katan getting the black saber back from Mando because she saved him from this under cave thing and like all this shit because he had to go take a bath in some dirty water
Mhm.
so he can put his helmet back on and not take it off,
Yep.
and these cultists can accept him back into their cult. They
Which
both
is
take
hilarious. So there's like, I have proof. She's like, oh yeah, this water's dirty. You were in it.
um, and while they're taking the bath in the dirty water, they found this ancient dinosaur that,
Mythosaur.
yeah, which was their, their symbol. And Bo-Katan is the one that sees the mythosaur, which is interesting because her house, I think her great whatever thing was the one that started Mandalore with the great mythosaur, whatever, or he fought it or rode it, or I don't know, House of Dragons. Um, now we
I thought it was
now
the
House of the
big dude's
Mythosaur.
family. No,
huh?
wasn't it the big dude's family?
It was the
I forgot
the
his name. The big guy, the one
the
who the whole
House
time I was just
Vizsla.
like, yeah,
Vizsla
no, no,
or something?
his dad's the one who created the sword. I'm sorry, that's what it is.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
Or
yes,
his
yes. He was
grandfather or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
he was the Jedi, the Mandalorian Jedi.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All right, so now here we see the two Mandalorian sects meet each other and they have a big dinner and okay,
I,
congratulations.
it's like looking at this picture. It looks like they're about to go to war. It's like they finally met each other and they had a big dinner.
Dude, it looks like they're about to go into a dance battle, honestly, but they just had
It's the
dinner.
Sharks versus the Jets.
Yeah, that was significantly more violent than this. But yeah,
Yeah. So Mando goes to Mandalore. He finds out that it's not poisonous, but it's been bombed to hell. All these ancient creatures that were underground have come up above ground. Not above ground, but they're out and about now and trying to kill each other and trying to eat them
no.
or whatnot. I don't know what the fuck's happening on this planet. Um, but we get the news that Moff Gideon escaped his transport and he was rescued by a Mandalorian or some Mandalorian sect or whatever. And now he has his base on Mandalore. He makes this dark armor of with Beskar armor based on the Mandalorian design, and we get to see these guys come back. The I forgot what they were called, but whatever. They're the protectors of like the usually the Sith Lord of the period.
Yeah,
We've seen them. We've seen them in what is it? The second movie. The
The Last Jedi.
was it the Last Jedi? Yeah.
Of the sequel trilogy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
Jedi.
yeah. Okay. Um, and then yeah, we see there was this scene, and this was mostly from the last two episodes, and oh yeah, Grogu was riding in a robot the whole time.
No,
Like bro, like what? None of this. Like okay,
no, I
Grogu
didn't
was
even
riding in a
question it. I
robot.
didn't even question it
Oh,
anymore.
and then
It's like okay,
they destroyed the dark saber.
No,
in like a second. Like she
no.
finally got it back. She finally is the leader now. Like everybody is following her, and then like boom, the sword is destroyed. It's like, all right, well, you showed us the mythosaur twice. It's gonna have some type of effect in the
No.
future, whether she goes down and wakes it up and rides it or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know what she's gonna how she's gonna use it or how they're gonna use it to like cement um
her leadership.
her leadership, because I feel like in Rebels, Sabine Wren was also like up for a position of leadership, right? So I'm not really sure what they're gonna do since they're introducing her in Ahsoka. So
No.
yeah, and then you had this Dark Council of people, and this is Dan. You mentioned it, and I was thinking the same thing. Is like, is this the start of the First Order?
Yeah.
So they had a lot of interesting things happening in there. Um, Here you see Bo-Katan using the dark saber when they're fighting. So, answers that we got during the season: Grogu was not a clone. All right.
Most likely.
Yeah.
We're still not 100% sure, but
Yeah,
yes.
but it's most likely Grogu was not a clone.
Yeah.
And then we saw in a flashback that Grogu was at the temple during Order 66.
I love you, Esla. I
What?
love your spelling so much.
Oh, did I spell temple wrong? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
not the only
Temple.
thing, but yeah.
Yeah. What else did I
Temple
spell wrong?
You'll find it.
cloning.
Oh, cloning. Yeah, dude, I did this at work, man. All right, leave me alone. Um,
Happy birthday, Henry.
so
Happy birthday.
the cloning was the cloning that was being done was from Moff Gideon. He what he needed Grogu for was he needed his force sensitivity to try to create force sensitive clones.
Hmm.
So he used himself as the clone subject, and he was doing studies on Grogu to apply the force sensitivity into these clones. Now that begs the question of, was this also used and how to bring back Palpatine? Was this in like the sequel trilogies? Are they now trying to like backstep it into the story? Are they Is this how they created what's his name? Shit, I forget his name.
Snoke.
Snoke,
I guarantee
Emperor
you, yeah.
Snoke,
Yeah.
right? Because who the fuck knows? He could have been just a clone with force sensitivity and just whatever. So
That was a pretty cool idea, though. I wish they did more with that. Like, I would have liked to have seen like maybe one wake up or something, and they have to fight and kill it real quick or something. But
hmm.
they just threw it out there, and then it was gone. I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
legit, one just opens his eyes, giant explosion. Like, all right, I guess.
So
I think it'd have been cool, like, to see him like
Yeah.
use the force powers and be like, oh shit, like, and really see with their own eyes, like, this is what they're doing. They're cloning people and giving them, they located the force gene or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
And I think
Well,
it'd
the
be cool to actually
metachlorians, they were
see it.
probably transplanting and doing metachlorians because that's the force, right? That's how you
Yeah,
connect to the force, is the amount of metachlorians in your blood from
When
the
I
prequel trilogy.
but
when I
I'm
was
just
telling
saying,
you when I
I
was
would like to have seen it rather
yeah
than just
yeah
it just be wiped off so quick and then briefly explained and then moved on from. Like, I wanted more of that.
when I tell you I could not for the life of me remember the word metachlorian the other day when I was like watching the finale. The whole time I'm thinking it's not mitochondria. What the fuck is it?
Well, mitochondria is what we have in our cells. That's the
Yeah, well,
powerhouse
I
of the
Macklemore.
keep
cell.
thinking mitochondria. Like I know that's not it.
But so the questions we've already asked, right? So Project Necromancer, what's that? It could be the project that eventually led to Palpatine's return
Yeah,
and the
that's
test
what it sounds
subject
like.
of using it for Snoke, right? Moff Gideon Force clone equals Palpatine, right? So that was the beginning. The mythosaur play, we talked about this earlier. Like, how will they use the mythosaur in the future? Like, how is Bo-Katan going to use it? She saw it twice. It looked at her like, oh my God, do they have a connection? Is she going to ride the dragon? Then you got the Shadow Council. Is that the precursor to the First Order, right? So that could all be true. And we're getting, um, I guess I'll get that to later. So this season was setting up for
Ashoka.
Ahsoka.
Hmm?
No, that's how you spell Ahsoka. I looked
No,
it
he
up.
got Ahsoka right.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dan.
Actually,
Ashoka.
No,
I
it
no.
don't
is.
think so.
Or is it?
The H goes
Yeah.
first.
No, the
No.
H definitely doesn't go
You
first.
say the S first, bro. How is it?
I think
It's
the H might be go for the before the S though.
no. Is it?
That's what
You
I'm
fucked up
saying.
on
The H is
Shadow. I
before
just let that one slide, but I'm gonna
the
come back
H
for
goes
it.
first.
Maybe, I don't know. I thought I looked it
I'll
up.
look it up. I'll look it up. We'll find out.
No, it's
A H
ASH.
A
AH. Yeah,
AHS.
so H
Oh,
does go first.
oh, it
That's what I
does.
meant by
Question by
H goes
spelling.
So who the
first.
oh, this is oh, okay. The
He
one that I
looked it
wrote,
up.
I did, and it's some type of Indian figure. So
Hold on. So you looked it up and didn't bother to check if it's the correct Ahsoka.
The power of
so
research.
so this Ahsoka
Yeah, there's
is
something in the world spelled like this. Okay,
was
this
the
must be it.
third this the way I spelled it was the third emperor of the Maurya Empire of the
I
Indian
gotta look that up now.
subcontinent.
That's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Son, I was doing this at work, bro. I was trying not to get in trouble because I didn't have time to do it yesterday. But all right. So
We appreciate your work, your hard work.
No, yeah, no, that's great.
so so this season was setting up for Ahsoka, right? We saw little glimpses. Um, first of all, in the first episode, I think it was when Grogu saw those space whales, and then
I
I
forgot
was like,
that.
this is something we saw in Rebels. And then that wasn't the only thing during the season, right? They also showed this scene when Moff Gideon supposedly died, right, from them crashing the plane. Grogu uses the Force to block the fire, which was something done in Star Wars Rebel when Kanan died to save Syndulla, Hera Syndulla, and put her on the ship, pushed the ship away, and then he let the Force go, and he died in the fire of the explosion. But here, Grogu was able to save both of them. Also, we got to see my man here, who was also a part of the crew of the Star Wars Rebels. I forget his name, but they showed him in the show. And finally, there were hints of Grand Admiral Thrawn,
A lot
and
of
I
references to Thrawn.
yeah, and then this is what we're gonna see, and I believe he will be the villain in Ahsoka, or Ashoka, whatever you want to say. It is how it is. Um, but yeah, so this is what I have for season 3 of Mandalorian. I mean, we kind of shit on it the whole time, but I do have a lot of news that came out of Star Wars Celebration 2023, and we can get into that. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the Mandalorian season 3?
Shout out to the return of Mercedes Monet, also
Oh,
known
right.
as
Yes.
Mercedes Varnado, formerly known as Sasha Banks.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
cool to see
Yes.
her come back.
Yes.
Didn't
It
really
was
do
great.
much. And another wrestling related thing. The whole time, I can't remember his name, but big dude, big Mandalorian man.
How's Vizsla?
How cool would it have been if his helmet came off at some point and it was Batista?
Oh, that would have been
How
interesting.
amazing would that have been?
That
Even if
would
it
have
was
been
just
really
a
funny.
cameo, I was like, oh shit, it was Batista this whole time.
That'd have been awesome.
Yeah. I looked it up. I believe the voice was what's his name? The dude that's running like the Star Wars shit right now.
Dave Filoni.
No, well,
Uh,
not Dave Filoni. The other one that's above Dave Filoni. He happy in the Spider-Man movies.
oh, he's above Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Favreau.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is it Mike?
It's I'm sure it's
John
not Mike.
Favreau.
You're
John
thinking of Mike
Favreau.
Fabre.
Yes.
But yes, it's John
It's
Favreau.
Mike Fabre, guys. It's that's who's running this. You suck, Mike, at
It's
fucking
close
creating
enough.
these Star
Just like
Wars
Ashoka.
stories. Yeah, I'm all over it. Look, listen, man. I just got off the Mountain Islands of Ramadan, guys. Give me a break here.
I love how every slide had one typo.
All right, first of all, I'm dyslexic. I never knew how to spell. This is not a surprise for you guys, and
We're never
it
gonna
is what
not
it
make
is.
fun of it though.
I know. I appreciate the the candor.
Oh,
But yeah, anything else
At
to
the
say
end of the
about the
day, we
Mandalorian?
appreciate your
oh
work too,
absolutely.
because it's not like we're doing that.
Exactly.
um,
I just hope they get their stuff together, man. I kind of wish that Star Wars just was not on Disney altogether. I want like a grittier feeling from them, and I don't think Disney can deliver that. So
yeah,
that's my impression. I just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna squander the mythosaur. I don't know. I got nothing but negative things to say, and I don't want to be that guy that just shits on everything. Like, But that's kind of the vibes they're giving. Maybe they reap what they sow.
I mean, so far this, I mean, the more I watch of the Mandalorian, the more like the nostalgia of the first season kind of gets worse. Because I had such fond memories of the first season, and um
Hmm.
and and it was like right after like the sequel trilogy, so it was like, oh my god, the sequel trilogy, I mean, in my opinion, was like so bad, and like we
Most
got the
people's opinions, yeah.
Mandalorian, and it was like, oh my god, it was so good, like Baby Yoda, and like we were all blinded by the cuteness and Baby Yoda, seeing that species again. And then like every season was just like a letdown after that. But yes, Fernando, we will be getting into that. Fernando said season 3 was all set up for the big Mandalorian movie. It's not just a big Mandalorian movie, but I will tell you what it is because it was announced in Star Wars Celebration 2023. So in Star Wars Celebration 2023, here's the new canon timeline. Right, they added some things. You have Dawn of the Jedi, the Old Republic, the High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Rise of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, the New Republic, which is what we are in right now, in at least in the Mandalorian and its subsequent spin-offs. Rise of the First Orders, the sequel trilogy, and then the New Jedi Orders, the new movie we are getting, right? So we're getting a couple of new movies, one of them doing the Dawn of Justice, one of them ending the New Republic, and then another one that is starting the New Jedi Order. So three new Star Wars movies. The first being Dawn of the Jedi. James Mangold, who did the director of Logan and Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, will be creating a Dawn of the Jedi set 100 years, or no, not 100 years. It's way more than that. But it's like at the beginning of like the Jedi Order and how it started. Um, there was another one that was whatever. Then the second one, which is the New Republic, set in the New Republic era, which is the Mandalorian and stuff, which will be directed by Dave Filoni, will focus on the New Republic and the closeout of the interconnected stories told in the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka. I spelled it right in this one.
I know, I see that.
And the other Disney Plus series. So any other Disney Plus series that was connected to Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, Boba
Like
Fett,
in that
whatever,
timeline. Yeah.
yeah, will be that the story that all these shows set up will be ended in a movie created by, written by, and probably directed by Dave Filoni or something like that. The third movie will be directed by Charmin Obeichino, Chinese, whatever. Um, will be set after the events of Star Wars: Rise of the Skywalker, around 15 years afterwards, and will feature Daisy Ridley back as Rey as she builds a new Jedi Order. I saw someone make a TikTok about this, and it was like, why did it take 15 years for her to make a new Jedi Order? And they were like, because she forgot where she buried the lightsabers in Tatooine. I thought that
That's
was really funny. It took her 15 years to find them. Um,
Yeah.
but other good news, though, um, we are getting season 2 of Andor, which at the end of season 2 will lead right into
Rogue One.
the Rogue One, and Rogue One, when it ended, led right into A New Hope, which is very interesting. And I love that they're doing that. But we should be getting season 2 of Andor August 2024, so next summer. Next up is Skeleton Crew, which will be coming this summer or autumn, which will have Jude Law as a Master Jedi, and some other people, apprentices and stuff.
Do we know what
Um,
this is about?
we do not know this, or maybe we do. I didn't look that much into the actual story, but I don't think there's a lot about it yet.
Okay.
And then the Acolyte. This is the 100 years thing. So the Acolyte is a story that is taking place 100 years before Phantom Menace, and that will be coming to 2024. um, and Ahsoka. So Lars Mikkelsen will be playing and reprising his role as Admiral Thrawn, as he was the voice actor in the Star Wars Rebels. You have Iman Isfandi coming at, being cast as Ezra Bridger. Natasha Liu Brodizio, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. She was cast as Sabine Wren, and then my favorite casting, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera Syndulla.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's just an amazing actor.
Yes,
Like,
yes, I'm very
put her in
excited to see
anything.
her. And then I also love that Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Both those. And I look forward to Lars Mikkelsen's portrayal, live action portrayal, because he was awesome in the voice acting as Grand Admiral Thrawn. So,
Mhm.
uh, which kind of leads to thinking that this story of Ahsoka, and people are thinking that the movie that re will tie up all these storylines is like something similar to The Heir of the Empire, which was a book in the which is now Legends before it was canon, which talked about Admiral Thrawn. That's where he's from. So, um, and then Star Wars Tales of the Jedi is returning for season 2 and it has been confirmed, which I'm very excited about. If you don't know what Tales of the Jedi was, um, that was the anthology series that starred Ahsoka as a youngling, and there was 3 episodes about Ahsoka. One when she was just born, and then the other 2 when she was like a little when she was during like the Clone Wars and post Clone Wars. And then the other one was
Dooku.
Count Dooku and his story when he was a Jedi, when he turned, and before he died, I think. And Dooku was the 3 episodes about Dooku was amazing. I really loved them. Um, One second. What is it? Jedi Tales of the Jedi. I just want to look up the new episodes.
Mhm. Yeah, I kind of wanted to go back and try to watch Tales of the Jedi. I saw I think the first 2 episodes. The first one about
Yeah.
Ahsoka has a baby, where she was like her mom was out there teaching her to hunt, and then there was the one with Dooku where he's training a young Qui Gon,
Yes.
and they go to the thing. So I never got past those episodes. Once I've said it numerous times, the art style, Star Wars animation's art style is just disgusting. Like I just hate it. This just can't get around it. I saw Clone Wars. I might try to do Rebels again at some point, but it's just hard to watch.
I feel it, but this so season 2 is going to be set up the same way as season 1, where they're going to have probably an anthology series of 2 uh, Jedi, whether they're Sith or not, from some timeline in the Star Wars series, and give you a little bit more of background about them, which I'm excited about.
You know who I want to see?
Who?
I cannot remember his name right now, but I'm gonna keep talking until it pops up in my head, and it hasn't done so. The big robot dude with the arms who steals the Jedi's lightsabers.
Uh, General Grievous.
I want to see Grievous. I want to know more about Grievous, his
That would be cool.
backstory.
Yeah. And Star Wars Visions Volume 2 is coming out. Now, if you don't remember Star Wars Visions, it was that also another anthology series of Star Wars stories done by Anime Studios. So we're getting a Volume 2 of that. And these are the new studios that will be creating the next set of stories.
We know if any of these are coming back.
I'm not sure. I didn't look that up. But
Okay.
so, Studio El Guri will be doing an episode titled Sith. Studio Cartoon Saloon will be doing an episode titled Screecher's Reach. Um, Studio Punk Robot is doing an episode titled In the Stars. Um, Studio Ardaman will be doing an episode titled I Am Your Mother. Studio Mur will be doing Journey to the Dark Head. Studio La Cachette will be doing an episode titled "The Spy Dancer." Studio 88 Pictures will be doing The Bandits of Golak. Um, Studio, I don't even know how to pronounce that. The Archaju, probably fucked that up. And Lucasfilm Ltd will be doing an episode called The Pit. Studio Tigerfish will be doing Aua Song, and that's it. Those are your new episodes and titles. Looking very forward to these. I enjoyed Vision season one. Not every episode, but I like the. It was very interesting the takes that these
It was
studios
it
took
was a
on.
great concept. I like
Yeah.
that they could really do anything they wanted, and it was kind of just a glimpse into the Star Wars universe, not necessarily being
Hmm.
Jedi or Sith. Like it,
Yeah.
they literally had an episode on like a rock man or something. I was like, I think that's really cool. Get to see more of the universe, not from the lens of a action or like death and violence.
No,
Yeah.
it's a great world to build any kind of story in. Really, when you think about it.
It is. There's a lot of. It's a whole galaxy with many races, many things, and you got the 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 Jedi, which span over tens of thousands of years. You have the Sith that do the same. You have like the original Sith race that were eradicated, and we don't know much about them. You can do stories about that. You can there's just so much. There's like you can do more stories about the witches. I forgot the planet. What's it called?
The Night
Like those
Sisters.
the Night Sisters. There's so much great stuff that
Yeah.
could be done in this
Well, not only
universe.
that, like Disco was saying, like there was legit a rock band. Like you could
Yep.
legit have any type of story. You could have some dude who's like, I don't know, some type
I
of
mean,
what's a sport that's in Star Wars? Do they have a sport? Somebody
look
who's
at
like a
Rogue.
star athlete in a sport, and
Yeah.
that person you just see them their rise. It has nothing to do with Jedi. Says no fighting whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just a rags to riches story about somebody who's very athletic. Like there's
Hmm.
so many things that could be done, but in that Star Wars setting, that'd be
Yeah.
so cool.
It is.
I want to see it starring Derek Jeter for some reason.
Yes, of course.
Oh man. But that's it with my Star Wars news and the Mandalorian season 3. Um anything else about any of these projects?
I mean,
uh,
I like Star Wars. It's rough. It's
Mhm.
rough watching some of these things. Then there's other things that hit very
Uh,
well.
Andor.
S- huh?
Andor.
Yeah, Andor.
Mhm.
And I have the very uncommon opinion of liking the sequel trilogy. So for
Mhm.
me, that works.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like there's a lot out there. I'd rather have there be more Star Wars than no Star Wars, to be honest. So it's one of those things where it's. I've said it before. If not for the podcast, I'd be picking and choosing. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
watching as much of the
Yeah,
Star Wars
yeah.
stuff that comes out. Honestly, I don't think I would have done a season 3 of Mandalorian.
Mm.
I probably would have given up on it by this point. But
I'm ready to give up on it, honestly.
yeah,
But
but it's one of those things where it's like it's I am glad I am watching it for the most part because there are still cool moments. There are still things
yeah,
that
yeah.
you don't want to miss out on.
I mean, one of the cool moments from the season was like the thing that you probably fell asleep was the end fighting
Oh yeah,
of the season finale, which is cool because it was like dark fighting in jetpacks, which is it's an interesting concept. You got all these like like the like the troopers coming with the jetpacks and Beskar armor, kind of like the
oh
Mandalorians,
they're
and then the
flying at each other.
Mandalorians are coming back at
all
them,
that all that aerial
and the
fighting is
camera
just
work, yeah,
pretty
was like
interesting too.
was very well
Dude,
done.
I
But
legit watched that and thought everybody's gonna think this is so cool, and I
yeah,
fucking hate it.
it was well done. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, but it was like there wasn't enough good story build up for that to be more interesting
no.
than it could have been, and it's just like it was like all right, this is a cool action scene after like some mediocre storytelling. So
I did get a really good laugh one episode where they were on that island, the Mandalorian island, where the
mhm.
cultists were just staying at, and then one kid just gets snatched up by a
Oh
dragon. Laughed
yeah,
my ass off the whole time. Like
yeah.
that's a fucking dragon. Like a dragon just
And
showed
then
up
they
and took
spent
that
the
kid.
whole episode on that shit,
Yeah,
and then What happened to those chicks that they saved?
They're gonna come back in season 8. Have you noticed like every episode of Mandalorian, like all these stupid little side stories, it has one little thing that doesn't matter, and then it's like a season and like 3 episodes later, Dave Filoni's like, "Oh fuck, we have chick dragons.
Yeah,
Let me use
they're
that."
gonna fly them into battle at some point.
Yeah, it's like they do that all the time, where it's just like they'll
Yeah,
have this one thing, and it's like you could tell they fucking forgot they had it, and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, let's do it." Like you had
Bo-Katan's gonna have the mythosaur while they have those things, and they're
yeah.
gonna have like an army, like
what
to fight whoever they're fighting.
what's the name of that comedian who was in season 1 and I think
Oh,
he
Bill
died in
Burr.
season 2?
Yeah,
Yeah, so he was in that one random ass episode of season 1, and then it's just like, all right, I guess he was in it. And then it's like season 2 comes around, I was like, fuck, we got in contract says we got to use Bill Burr one more time. I was like, fuck, all right, let's just put him in the next one.
yeah.
Like, like I
Just
feel like
throw them
that's
in.
all it is.
I'm sure he might make an appearance either in season 4 or like the movie.
Didn't he
They
die?
did let him. They did let
No,
him
they let
go
him
at the
go.
end.
Oh,
Yeah,
So he
so he
died
could
in like
technically.
record form, but like they let him go.
why? So, in my mind, I remember him doing some big sacrificial thing to save everybody else. So that didn't happen, huh?
No, he probably did, but survived, and then they just let him
I
go
legit that was
because he
really around
died.
the
Yeah,
point where I was like, around the time he came back was really when I was like, fuck this show. I really
yeah.
don't care anymore.
I
Oh
feel
man,
like he did do some big thing, but he just didn't die though, and
Yeah,
that's
he
the
yeah,
did
yeah,
do
reason why.
something
That's the
big, but
reason why they let him go, because it's like,
yeah,
oh, he's not all
yeah.
evil or whatever.
Season
But
4, you're gonna have Dave Filoni be like, "Fuck, we were supposed to bring him back there in season 3. We forgot."
he's gonna save Grogu, some last second pivotal stuff. But overall, my final thoughts is just I just want to see Andor season 2.
yeah,
And I guess I'm a little excited for Visions. Like I said, it's I feel like after that first season kind of like did waves, they're gonna like kick it up this season and really
yeah.
bring us some quality stories, random like anthology goodness.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Visions. I'm looking forward to Tales of the Jedi. That was amazing. And I'm looking forward to The Acolyte. I've been looking forward to The Acolyte since they announced it. And now that we're getting a little bit more info, I'm still looking forward to it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not in that time period. I feel like everything that's showing up in that specific like Mandalorian time period, like in between episodes 6 and 7,
hmm
it's just whatever falls into that is just like, ugh. Like it's like right now it's
Yeah.
Mandalorian, it's Book of Boba Fett.
It's
Ahsoka Tano is
Ahsoka.
going to be in that time period, so I was like,
Yeah.
hopefully she saves it. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And
I
then
I'm
Acolyte
I-
is like before the Phantom Menace, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
maybe we'll get
I'm
Plagueis.
taking a Hail Mary and I'm gonna put a little faith in Skeleton Crew. I don't know why. I feel like that one's gonna be a
God, I
hidden
hope
gem.
so.
Maybe, hopefully.
Um, all right. Disco, first of all, Dan, do you have any wrestling news or anything for us today?
I mean, shit's happening. I haven't had a chance to set anything up, but like big shit is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we can wait till next week to find out more.
I can try. I can't guarantee. Like
Yeah. Okay.
right now, my schedule next week is significantly worse than it has been. So we'll see.
Right.
All
Well,
right.
whenever you get a chance.
Yes.
I do have a little segment though, if that's
Yeah, I
what
was
you're gonna.
just about to ask. Go for it. Um,
Alrighty, let me just pull up my little share screen. I have a 2 movie special for y'all. I actually got 2 movies in.
damn.
Oh, wait a minute, it's not here. Hold
And one of them, does Bill Burr do like a big sacrificial thing where he saves everybody?
on. I'm just gonna share my screen for a second, the whole screen. Uh, I can't do that. That's my computer being weird. Hold on one second. Sorry about that.
They're good. They're good. Legit sounds like me at work. It's like, yeah, my computer's being a little bit. I'm gonna put you on hold for a quick second, see what best deals I can find for you.
I don't know why it's not letting me share my screen properly. There we go. Here's one of the movies. All right. Can y'all see that?
Oh, Renfield.
Oh, you saw
Okay.
Renfield.
All right.
So I got a chance to see Renfield this past week, and so I just want to let everybody know my thoughts on it. And first off, it is rated a 6.7 on IMDb, 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, 53 on Metacritic, and First off, opinions going in, I was really excited for this movie because I'm a big fan of Nick Cage and his whole meme history, and just I just love his kind of like wild factor, wild card type of energy. And so I feel like he could really make or break a film. And this one, honestly, I loved him in the film, but it really wasn't about him. So he really wasn't in that much. It's about Renfield. And overall, I want to say the film left me unimpressed, which is sucks because it was such a cool concept, especially Nick Cage, and I like these actors. You got Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, and they had Aquafina in it too as Rebecca, who plays this police officer. And so I really like all three of these people, these actors, actresses, and but for some reason, just seeing them on the screen just wasn't doing it. It was a little. I felt like they were trying to be gritty, but it was just like blood, like excessive blood, and like heads popping off, which I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for me. Kind of silly, and overall the plot progression was just lacking too, and the comedy was it had its moments, but it still kind of was just flat overall. And so I'm giving this movie a one thumb down, and it's sad because I really was a could possibly a really had a lot of potential, and the actors actors are star quality A plus. You know, for them they did they've done really great work. So it just kind of sucks to see them come together and make this kind of flat movie when you could have done so much, made it so much more. Especially with Nick Cage as Dracula, man, that's such a presence on the screen, and even in this movie, he was really great. But at the same time, I don't know, it didn't knock it out the park for me. It was just like a short infield hit that got caught, you know. So kind of just if you got time, check it out in the back, but don't, like I said, don't expect to get wowed or or be in love with the characters, the plot. It wasn't anything great. So now I'm gonna move on to the next movie I saw, Renfield.
I also saw a movie this weekend. Also, I'll talk about it when you're done. Oh, you saw
Yeah,
65? You son of a bitch.
yeah. So I saw 65 as well, and
Then, all right, no
no,
spoilers because I still want to see this movie.
all right, no spoilers. But other just my feelings about the movie, this movie actually kind of left me with the same feeling as
I've
Oh
Renfield.
heard that.
no.
I've heard a lot of people say
I
that.
Oh
I
damn.
I loved Adam Driver, and like when you pitched it to me at the beginning, I saw it on Reddit or on Facebook or not Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Oh, Adam Driver and dinosaurs. Like in theory, I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. I like Adam Driver. It could be a fun watch. And so I kind of had that energy going in, and then when I went in, it just it 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 wasn't that good. It wasn't that good.
No.
It
All
kind of
right, I'm
had
probably
this
not gonna watch it now.
Oh,
yeah.
you gotta
It
watch it,
kind of
Eslov.
had
Did
Wow.
you
it
watch
kind
it,
of
Dan?
had a
Mina.
Okay.
it kind of had like what was it The Last of Us kind of feels with the
Mm.
whole like daughter thing. It was kind of almost exactly the same surrogate daughter getting through arduous thing, like premise wise. That's the premise. And honestly, like if you're gonna look for that, just watch Last of Us. Like this movie just kind
I
of
mean,
didn't do it justice.
the only reason why I
uh,
wanted to watch this movie was because like he's an alien coming to planet Earth. They found planet Earth during the time of the
Or
dinosaurs.
is he?
Yeah, or he's a time traveler. Either way,
The
it's
concept
something.
is there.
Yeah.
uh,
So it's just like, damn, they okay. We'll see what happens.
I don't know if it was planet Earth, but it's definitely a livable planet with dinosaurs on it. I don't know if it's exactly a planet Earth, but uh, it it's not like super bad. Like there's nothing exactly bad with it, but it's also just not the best either. Like the same thing with Renfield. Like you got talent, and that I feel like that's the only thing that was holding the movie up.
Yeah.
Adam Driver and this little girl just really kind of drove the movie, but it's just still kind of flatlined in the end. I wasn't The climax just didn't leave me resolved. I wasn't like, oh wow, yes, that was amazing. It was just like that was it, kind of like feeling, and I wasn't impressed. And it's crazy how with the power of the internet, you say Adam Driver and dinosaurs, it's like yes, let's do it, Hollywood. throw the money, and but it's just sometimes the execution doesn't happen the way they envision, and you kind of get this movie like 65, really good in theory, a lot of potential there, and it's a good movie in the background. I wouldn't devote all my attention to it. Like it's not no Green Book or Avengers Endgame or something like something some movie people would consider good.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Um,
they came out just giving their own review score.
65. Yeah, honestly, that's what I would give it.
Yeah.
65 out of 100.
Damn, bro.
It's not. It's better than half the movies out there, and
Yeah.
15% better than. But I'm gonna give this one a one thumb down too. I can give it a two, but I don't want to. I love Adam Driver, so I'm gonna give it just a one. I'm gonna blame the director or whoever
Let's
is
blame
just.
someone else. Anybody but
Yeah,
Adam Driver.
yeah, I know it wasn't his fault because he brought life to the movie, and he's just such a manly man, and he could do no wrong unless he's Kylo Ren. But other than that, I like him as a person.
I
I
love
like him, and
Kylo.
I like him as an actor, and I liked him in Girls too. That's where I first saw him, and I was like, oh man, this guy's cool. Like this kind of weirdo, wild person just goes for it. But in this movie, he definitely had acting chops, and like I said, the only thing that was saving the movie. But in the end, still a one thumbs down. And so I cannot recommend going to the theater to watch it. But like if you have time, put it in the background while you're cleaning or something, or doing homework or whatever people do these days. That's where I leave this movie. The multitask while watching it type movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the end of my review. So you could end my screen share and continue your thing as well.
So I took my nieces and we went and saw Super Mario Brothers. I was really happy
Ah,
I was able to do it because this past weekend was so Friday was the holiday right after Ramadan, and it was still in theaters. So I was like, I'll take them Sunday, um, and we were able to go. They were ecstatic to go to the movies. It's their first time at this age that they went to the movies, and because other times like we tried to take them and they just didn't want to, either they didn't want to go or like they just don't pay attention to the movie.
Yeah.
So like I feel like now they're at the age where they can like enjoy the experience.
How old are they now?
uh One is gonna turn 9 this year and the other one's gonna turn 8, so
your
I
uh,
feel
your
it's like
your sister's kids?
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay,
um
yeah.
so yeah, I took them, they enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of, yeah, it was just, I don't know, it's Super Mario Brothers. It's a lot of nostalgia. All the voice acting was awesome, and yeah, they just, they had the Mario Kart. They had all the different mushrooms with the different powers. They had the star. It was just like there was this one scene where they did this whole like side scroller where the camera was just like at this side
Yeah.
scroller view and Mario was just like running through
Like
the city.
original 2D Mario, yeah.
Yeah, 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 and they did that like as like a homage to the original Mario. It was like a side
Nice.
scroller scene, which was pretty cool. And yeah, it was good. I don't know. It was definitely a
I,
fun watch with the kids. So um,
they had an amazing cast. I would be
no,
surprised if it went bad. Like that.
no, I
Uh,
mean it's not gonna win in, like, to me it's not like an award-winning movie. Obviously, it's but it was
It's
good. It
fun.
was a
It's
fun
meant to be
watch.
it's
Yeah,
fun.
just
yeah,
a, just a fun watch for the kids. It was just
exactly.
Yeah.
the
And
kids
for
are
me it was
probably
a
going
fun
crazy
watch.
on it.
I mean, I was exhausted. I almost fell asleep twice, but that's because I'm old and I'm tired. But otherwise, it
Okay,
was a really
Grandpa.
fun movie to
You
watch.
know, you
Yeah.
know you're getting old when you're falling asleep in a theater.
Yo, bro.
Oh, dude, I did that I did that at such a young age.
Yeah, man.
I've been falling asleep in theaters.
So we did that,
No.
and I'm really excited that they enjoyed the experience because now there's more cartoon movies coming out that I can take them to, and I'm excited to do that with them. So.
So when my family they were here, pretty much when you were doing your Ramadan thing, I
Hmm.
saw my family was down here, and one of my days off, we are like, hey, they really wanted to go to the movies. They wanted to see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Oh God.
I was like, you guys have fun with that. I was like, no, we want you to go. I
Oh,
was like, I'll watch the Mario Brothers. I'm not watching Dungeons and Dragons. And they're
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, that sounds much better." So out goes me, my dad, my little sister, and then little cousin. So we all go there, and of course, I remember it was like Friday. It was like the Friday like that movie came out or whatever, and I was just like, I go to the theater. I saw that. I saw so many people, and the
Yeah.
entire time I'm in line, I'm convincing my family to go home, and it worked.
Nice.
We didn't go. We didn't go to the movie theater. It was like mission accomplished. I got to come back home. And then I told him, I was like, listen, if you guys want to watch it with me, I'm working a bunch of days. If you guys want to go watch it, you could. It's like, no, we're gonna wait for you. You're the one who knows the Mario Bros. You know, this, that, and the other. We want to see how your opinion is. All right. Then, like, I think the first day I went to work, I came back and they're like, yeah, we saw the movie.
Nice.
And it's funny because
Screw
like,
you.
yeah, I was like, I don't care. But my dad, he played Super Mario Bros. Before I did. He kind of taught me how to play the game. He's not really a gamer. That's one of the few games he knows. My little sister doesn't really know anything about Mario Bros. And then little cousin, who has been deemed little me, knows a lot about a lot of things I'm interested in. So it's just like the whole time I was like, they're talking to me about the movie. I was like, I don't want to hear your guys' opinion. I want to hear his. Yes, he's the youngest person out of all of you. And it's like he's only like 6 or 7 or 5. I don't know. He's some young age. And it was just like when they were talking about the movie, they're like, yeah, so they were doing this mushroom guy with the thing. I was like, was it Toad? And then he jumps in, was like, no, it's Captain Toad. I was like, oh shit, it was Captain Toad. And they're just like, who's Captain Toad? I was like, no, shut up, let him talk. He's just gonna tell me. He knows what's happening in
He
this movie. He
knows.
understands it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was telling me about it. He seemed cool with it. I was like, all right, that's somebody who understands Mario. I want that opinion.
Yeah, it
But
was it was a fun watch.
I'll get around to it at some point.
Yeah.
Look at
I mean,
that. Mario's still bringing families together, huh?
I went because it was like the only cartoon movie in the theater and that I can bring the kids to.
Dude, there
So
was like, what's you got Evil Dead? Was that? Why didn't you take him and go see Evil Dead? That's
yeah,
what my
so
parents would have done.
I'm gonna watch that this weekend. My
Hell
girl's
yeah!
coming out this weekend, so I've been holding off on that. I've been
Please,
dying.
please tell us what that movie
I
is like.
want
I
to
gotta know.
I want to watch
So
the
I actually, since you mentioned it, I actually did see Dungeons and Dragons, but I'll get to it next week. So I'm gonna do another twofer. It'll be
yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons and the the one you just said. I
Evil
forgot
Dead.
Evil
something
Dead,
Rise.
the
Evil
one
Dead
that's
Rise.
gonna be good.
Yep, yep. So the next week should be good.
Hopefully, it's
New
good.
good news. Good reviews. It's gonna be popping.
the horror one I want to see is the Pope's Exorcist. Um,
No.
because it's based on like a true story. So that I'm
Okay,
interested
that's
to
let's
see.
be real. Every fucking Exorcist movie is
So
based
is
off a true
every other
story.
haunting movie.
Every single one, and it's
Whatever.
always the same thing where it's like it's based on the thing, and then you actually look it up. I was like, yeah, they both existed on like August 12th. That's what made it real. It's like always
Yeah.
some dumb shit. It's never like in any way it was like based off of that. They just
Well,
say that.
listen, I'm gonna believe the dumb shit and go watch this movie.
It's got
Or
Russell
probably
Crowe in it,
watch it on.
so
Yeah.
this time's gonna
Russell
be
Crowe
different.
was at WrestleMania promoting this movie during a Hell in a Cell match. I was like, it's not going to be good, and
Yeah,
that's an absolute fact. I'm not making that up.
All right. Well, I'll
Gladiator was
wait.
a good
I'll
movie
I'll
though,
watch it
so I
online
don't know.
then.
I can't wait for Gladiator 2.
I'll wait for it to come out online. There's one last thing I wanna talk about before we get out of here. The LWGF VGL season 3.
Okay, I thought you forgot at the end of the sentence.
No,
There's
no,
a
I was
nice
pausing.
pause there.
It
That's
was a
suspense.
pause for dramatic effect.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Um,
I thought it was your Alzheimer's. I thought
I was like,
that
this man
pause
just,
that
I think it
pause just
happened. I think
literally
Islam
made him
died.
forget what he was saying.
LWGF VGL
That's
season
3.
3.
Yeah.
The Los Wise Guys Fantasy Video Game League season 3.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time ever, Dan is about to be dethroned as number
place.
1,
I
as
love
first
it.
place.
Oh,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's gonna be for only about like 3 to 4 business days,
Yep.
but it's gonna happen.
I'm loving it though. I'm loving it though.
And I'm super fucking excited that it's me
show it
who's
on the
doing
screen.
it.
oh,
Can't
you
wait.
worked hard for this, Aslam. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
So right now, as it stands,
Very excited.
I'm at 39. Dan's at 45.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dan's in first place. Walter's in second place. Rudy's in last place. Now, I'm gonna Star Wars Jedi Survivor's coming out right now. It's at a score of 86. It's not moving anywhere from that.
Yep.
It already has 83 reviews out. Like it's gonna be. It would take a lot for it to like go down. So I'm getting 16 points. That puts me at a score of 55.
Hmm.
Uh, Now,
You have another game coming out as
the
well.
last case of Benedict Fox
Exactly.
was supposed to come out tomorrow, but there's no page for it yet, which has me worried.
Because nobody's ever heard of this game. But yeah.
Sure, but hopefully it does good from the trailers and stuff. I thought it was an interesting story, and it's a side scroller, I think. Um,
I've heard two people legit, and I'm not
mhm.
making a joke. Like two people that who I do sort of follow that work
Mhm.
in the games industry who are saying they're very excited about it. And I don't know if they've
Okay.
been hands on with it, if they've actually played it, but there's two people out there that are excited about that game.
Yeah. So either way, Star Wars Jedi Survivor puts me in the league,
Yep.
right? Last case of Benedict Fox will, if it does good, it'll push me over a little more, and I will dethrone Dan for the first time in 3 years. Because
Congratulations.
every time we play, he's always in first place the whole year. No
Not
one dethrones
season
him.
one was not the case.
Really,
Yeah, season one was not the case. Disco was ahead for a good chunk of it.
really.
There was one point season one where I was in last place because I had
Oh,
games that came in later, and
oh,
then
yeah,
I just sat there and waited because I looked at what you guys had and I was like, what I
yeah,
had, I was like, I'm fine. I'll
yeah,
just
yeah,
wait
yeah.
it out, and then I just
Oh, okay.
surpassed
I
you
thought
guys.
this was the first time you were ever getting pushed
No,
back. Well, it's the first time I'm ever going to be in first place, which is going to be
yes,
fantastic.
yes, congratulations.
It's
Uh,
And then
still noteworthy. That's why you've come a
Absolutely,
long way as
yeah,
a
and
as a fantasy gamer.
literally like a week later, Redfall comes out, and then the big hitter, which is The Legend of Zelda, is coming out in like 3 weeks.
yeah.
So, I might be only in first place for only like maybe at most like 10 business days, but we'll see.
The only thing, see, Eslam, it's you played better last year. At this point, last year, you're doing better.
Yeah,
Um, it's not that
yeah,
you're not doing bad. It's just like I look at the games you have. It's like I still don't know why you got Forspoken.
yeah. That was just a dumb move on my point.
And it's
I
like
can
you
admit that.
knew. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
You
telling
guys
you
did
like
tell me. Yeah,
before season three, like during season two.
yeah.
I remember telling you Forspoken's not worth it. And there you are. You're
Yep,
drafting it.
yep, yep.
And then
I
9
fucked
Years of
up. It
Shadows.
is
That's
what it
just one
is.
of your regular moves there.
He
Nine
pulled
Years
the
of
disco.
Shadows. Listen, a lot of the reviews I saw for 9 Years of Shadows before it came out was really good. They loved the art style, they loved the gameplay, they loved the music. It was a big thing for this. I just thought it was gonna do good. And honestly, like looking at the scores from uh, OpenCritic, 80% of the scores are in like the 80s. It had two reviewers that put had like in the 60s, and then like the unscored, which brings it down more, which I hate these fucking unscored reviews that get
That's
counted
because you're
into the.
getting weird fucking games. That's the sign.
Sure, sure, sure. Whatever. It didn't make the cut either way. It is what it is. I'm just saying, like these unscored, like reviews are should not be counted in the overall score. Like if you're not
Mm.
giving it a score, why is it counting towards the score? It doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. Otherwise, it would have been like a 72 or whatever, which is better than like a -2. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Anything? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm just ready to be done with school, man. I got 3 more weeks. I could cry. Like I'm gonna probably am gonna cry when I graduate. I'm just so
Oh, it's three
tired
more
of.
weeks and then done.
Oh, actually, 3 more weeks for this semester. I still have
Okay.
to, but it's only one more class I have left, so it's not the weight load isn't going to be such a factor as it is now. I got 4 classes, and I'm just like feeling them. I just so
Nice.
much school,
Yeah.
travel time, then studying, and then work. On
Yeah.
top of all that, still working, trying to pay my bills and get all move out, get all this stuff moving. I got a lot on my plate, and I can't wait for 3 weeks to pass by so I could be free from these pressures of life and I can be and do things
I
normal
feel you.
things.
I feel you.
But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Life is hard, but that's
Yeah.
why we have mushroom coffee
Yeah.
to get us through our day
They're
and
not
keep
our
our mental
sponsors, but
clarity.
yes.
You sounded like it for a second.
No,
Sounds like you
yeah,
were
so
doing a
that,
promo.
right, the perfect ad. But no, yeah, that's my final thoughts. Just letting y'all know where I'm at. Fucking about to finish school, home stretch, and I just can't wait for it to be done, and I could get more of my book out. I've been at a standstill, but I've been writing down so many ideas, and I'm just dying to share it with y'all. Really, like, cause I shared with y'all like
Mm-hmm.
the LWG my first chapter, but like I haven't really shared any of my other chapters, so they're really kind of in the dark with it too. And I'm just like, I don't know, it's like my love child, so I can't wait to show y'all. And it's gonna be pretty juicy, pretty creative, out there stuff. So definitely stay
Nice, nice.
tuned and yeah, check out the website. Keep updating. You know, eventually it'll be out, and
Mm-hmm.
holla at your boys.
Yeah. Dan, anything?
Yeah. So I have my other laptop, the MacBook, and I have like decals on the back of it. That's let me remember I got the decals in Chicago, at the C2E2.
Mm-hmm.
And I just glanced over, and I have a Bob's Burger decal. It's like a so kind of like a silhouette type thing of Bob, and I realized an eyebrow is missing. And I don't know. Here, I'll show you guys because figure I have it right here. I can just pull that up. So
Oh.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how long it's been like this, but it's like at this point, do you guys think I should just try to get that fixed, get another thing, make it into an eyebrow, or just lose the second eyebrow? What do you think is best?
I don't know. Lose the second eyebrow.
You think?
Yeah. Disco, we can't hear you.
You can either like cut out that second eyebrow, or you can get like electrical tape and just like cut out
Yeah,
the
like I was
second
thinking,
one.
I could like cut something out and put it there. Or
A
what if I
black
took that
sticker.
eyebrow and cut it in half, made two little? Those are
I
my
feel
final
like that
thoughts.
could
Thank
work
you.
too.
My final thoughts are LWGFVGL, first place, baby.
Good job.
Thank you for
Good job.
listening to Los Suaz Guys podcast. I'm your host, Aslam, accompanied by Dan, Papa Sunkiller, and Dan Emperor Disco. If you like what you hear, please follow us on social media. Go check out those Wise Guys podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 3 and all the new Star Wars project coming out. Thank you, and have a great week.